Hey guys, Pixel here. Just wanted to let you know, in the event you want to try and start your own podcast, Anchor FM is the way to go. It has the creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It has everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, but many more as well. Ultimately, it is free, so it's no cost to you. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, and welcome to another episode of Two Guys, One Level. I'm your host, Tortuga, accompanied by Pixel.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome. So, not much exciting news. Well, that's not true. Let me not say that. There's some exciting news, but definitely not as exciting as I would like. But, that's neither here nor there. I'm just going to jump into it with the biggest thing that I found this week. There was some update on Beyond Good and Evil 2. What?
You
better be more excited for that.
That's pretty exciting, man. What you got?
You ready for this?
Yep.
The CEO, Guillemot. Let's go with that. Guillemot. I don't know. French is weird. Says that the game is progressing well. That's it. That's the update.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
That's it. That's all they said. The game is progressing well. Nothing else added. Ever since the lead on the project left a month ago, no one really knew what was going on with it. And I mean, last week he just said that the project is going well. So it's good. It's still a project. It hasn't been scrapped.
That's great because there was so the problem is that we just didn't get anything on it. Like a lot of people are also concerned about like Dying Light 2. It's really highly anticipated, and it just fell off the radar like completely.
That's a big issue that a lot of people don't want under the Beyond Good and Evil 2, because that happens a lot with games. After a while, you just stop receiving updates. The Twitter accounts that were created for these games, they just go silent, and then the game just falls off, and we'll just start worrying about the next shiny thing, and hopefully we'll forget about something that was announced ages ago. But this is definitely something that I want to keep putting pressure on, and hopefully the game gets more updates, more information, and maybe we'll get a pre-alpha game to look at.
Yeah, so, that'd be great. Ubisoft did it with the First Division, so I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do the same. So, Ubisoft, just keep doing it up. I know I mentioned it in the group chat. I forgot to respond, but I was thinking about the Uplay Plus just to give Watch Dogs a shot.
Which one? Legion?
Yeah, just to see. I played a game with like permadeath like that, like recruiting people. It was that State of Decay 2 was like that, and it was fun. And I actually just found out that the Watchdog Legion, you have the option to do like regular death, if you will. Like if your character does die or whatever, they just end up like in the hospital and you have to wait in-game time before you can use them again, or you have that perma-death mode.
Interesting. And that's a choice.
That is a choice. I guess you could change it in the settings somewhere. It's probably going to be more in the beginning of the game. I doubt that's something they would let you change in-game. But for achievements or whatever. But I don't know.
Interesting. I didn't know that at all. I feel like it takes away from that like aspect of the game of Watchdog Legions. Once your character that character dies, move on to the next one. Or if you lost all of your recruitments, then start over from scratch. I feel like that should be the highlight of the game, and not have a soft landing pad essentially.
Yeah, so that's something. Another bit of Watch Dogs news. I like the core. I like the world and the lore of Watch Dogs. It's just their games have been just so average to me. I think that's where their success is really dependent on that particular type of sandbox player. But that's definitely neither here nor there. I still just enjoy them. But apparently, they're the Watch Dogs Legion source code may have been leaked.
Yeah, well, we discussed that already.
Did we?
Yeah, they were hacked like 2 weeks before the game came out.
I don't remember it was source code. Oh, I'm getting old.
Yes, you are. Yeah, their source code was not leaked. What was it called? Compromised.
Oh no, this was that the source code was leaked.
Right. Well, whoever attained it, got a hold of it, released it, but they were already
Yeah.
someone
Okay.
had hold of it.
Yeah. Oh wow. I'm getting old, bro. Anyway, so how about them Yankees?
I don't know. I don't watch sports ball, but sticking on Watch Dogs, a voice actress by the name of Helen Lewis actually was removed completely from the game. She her role in Watch Dogs Legions was as a podcaster. There was like a series of podcasts that when you got into vehicles that you can pick up if you went to the proper channel. And apparently there was just some controversial remarks that she's made, and without Ubisoft's knowledge. And Ubisoft says that they would not have given her the position had they known these controversial remarks that she's made. They hired a third party to select the actors, and once the third party selected them, they gave them the job and the script and whatnot. So they didn't properly. Ubisoft had no part in vetting the actress, but apparently, a lot of people found out who she was and then flagged a lot of her remarks, and Ubisoft just stripped all her dialogue from the game.
Wow, how bad was it?
I didn't even bother looking it up. I didn't want to risk our podcast getting shut down. Bro. So
yikes.
So, yeah.
Huh.
So apparently bad enough for Ubisoft to pull the plug like that.
That is very, very interesting. Are you familiar with Blood Rain?
It sounds familiar. I've heard of it.
It's like basically like, what's the best way to kind of explain it? Devil May Cry Bayonetta action game, kind of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like in the early 2000s, big boob redhead vampire chick. Okay. So Blood Rain 1 and 2, they're calling it Blood Rain Terminal Cut, is coming out on November 20th. And there's just going to be updated versions of the two Blood Rain games that are on Steam and GOG. So we did get some news back in June that I don't think we went over it. But the company, right, Ziggurat Interactive, they were working on potentially, relaunching Blood Rain. It got a lot of love when it came out. Like, people really loved it. And then do you remember we talked about that terrible director who just picks up these licenses and just
yeah.
All right. So he did the Blood Rain movie, and I think that put a very terrible light on it. But yeah. But she they are kind of remastering it a bit, updating it. One of the cool things that I found is that if you have the first two games already owned, you'll get this upgrade for free.
Oh, that's neat. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. So just something to take a look at if you do have the Blood Rain games or were interested. They are getting a little bit of a touch up, nice. And that'll be available later this month.
Next month. Oh, this month. These are November 20th.
You got it.
Yeah, time. Speaking of touch ups, Ubisoft released an official announcement for not Ubisoft. What is wrong with me? But Mass Effect will be getting the legendary remaster trilogy will be coming out officially spring 2021.
That is awesome.
Yeah. On top of that, they announced that they're going to release another Mass Effect game not tied to the trilogy, but no one knows if it's a prequel or sequel to Andromeda or if it's a completely different story. Nothing's been announced, only that another game separate from the trilogy is in the works. So we'll definitely be listening in on that, waiting for more information. But that's super exciting. And what I like is they decided to announce this on November 7th, which is N7 Day, Normandy 7, a little play on that. So they waited to that day to give a nice announcement. And I'll tell you, the trailer for the Legendary remaster, it gave me chills just seeing all the characters just
Come back to life for you.
yeah. So it made me wonder if like my prediction was right, where if the combat system and the fighting system and mechanics are all going to be the same starting with the first game, and they're not going to make it, as clunky as it was with the first one, and then they made it a lot better with the second one, and then they just kept adding things as the games came out. I'm wondering if they're going to keep the same kind of like UI, and then just some mechanics will be you'll have to wait till game 2 and game 3, like stabbing someone with the I forget what it's called, like the orb sword or whatever it was.
BioBlade? Don't quote me.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I played these games when they came out, a decade plus ago, so don't hold it against me. But I'm just saying maybe the UI will be the same, and it'll be just as smooth as 2 and 3 was on the first game. You just won't be able to do the same mechanics until you play 2, and then until you play 3. I kind of hope that's the route that they take. And I'm also wondering, never mind. The other part doesn't make much sense. It'll probably be a separate download. Because it'd be interesting if it's just like one download and you just play the game 1, 2, then 3, and not have to worry about having to install it over.
They probably won't do that.
But it's a bundle.
I hear you, bro, but I've played my fair share. So I'm gonna go a bit rapid fire here. I've been playing Among Us a little bit more. Definitely enjoying it more than I thought I would. But I guess cheating has been really rampant. That Inner Sloth is actually working really hard, and there's actually seeing a lot of positivity from this. It's definitely not as notable. And there is an update that they gave us sometime last week, that they'll be ready to kind of go all set for December. So players will be able to like report accounts that are toxic or hacking. So it is very, very simple. It's not something that was in there, but they canceled the whole sequel just to work on this game. So
right.
But let me tell you, they have been adding like, just minor game things. Like they added like anonymous voting, different modes for like the actual taskbar, which I use a lot. They added like some symbols to one of the mini games where you had to connect like these electrical wires. So they have been putting in work. So really curious to see what this next update is. I've only had one game where it was cheating. Like the game was fine, they just didn't let us vote.
So was that cheating or was it a bug?
No, it was cheating.
But how?
Because so what happened is we outed the dude and he just switched it that didn't let us vote whenever we tried to catch him if we found a body or whatever. Like the game was fine.
Oh, so he was like the host and he just kept changing the rules after.
I don't know how. No, I don't know how they did it, but like just in the game, right? The game will work fine, everything will work fine, but they were caught. Someone reported the body. They explained everything, and when it came time to like actually vote, they we just couldn't vote, and then the timer went down, and then it was like it was skipped. It was a tie or whatever, and then the game would resume as normal.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, so don't cheat in multiplayer games. Which brings me to my next nice little segue here. Apparently, over 400 top ranked Apex Legends players were banned because they were using a glitch to essentially farm bronze players.
Wow.
In their rank mode.
Wow, so sad. How bad do you have to be?
That's the problem. They're not. They're not bad. They were like top tier, and I guess they were just bored or just wanted to really mess with people. And I think that's terrible because right, these people are in bronze. Maybe they just got the game or what have you. but we're talking, Diamond Plus.
Right.
They had an exploit that allowed them to go into bronze lobbies, and at the moment, I believe they only banned them from the season. I don't think it was a perma ban because they didn't use like a cheat bot or anything like that. So I think they're having a little mercy on them.
Because
But
it was
it was like an
a method
in-game
through the game.
right.
Yeah. In-game
Um,
exploit. Yeah. Makes
yeah,
sense.
but I want to say one of the devs over from Respawn, yeah, there it goes. He tweeted out, he was like, to the 419 Diamond Plus rank players who abuse an exploit allowing you to get into and farm bronze lobbies for RP, enjoy watching season 7 from the sidelines.
Good.
Yep, and it was across like all platforms, apparently.
Honestly, I would hit him with a longer ban than that until, redemption.
Right.
Give them a 5-page essay on why they should get their account back. Seriously, because this is getting out of hand. Every game is getting that way.
Yep. I'm gonna go a bit rapid fire here. Here's a bit of our comedy news for the day. Call of Duty Black Ops. The install size was very sneakily reduced by 90 gigs.
Good. It's just,
uh, yeah. I don't know why that's so funny. Like I honestly don't.
because it's literally ridiculous. It's ludicrous. That's why it's hilarious.
Wait, no, we can't say that. Yeah, no, it is pretty ridiculous. The way that an SSD is not. I mean, I guess they're fairly priced considering nowadays, but most people have it for like I've used them for like my smaller games. I only have SSDs on mine.
Which
But
anything not Call of Duty is declared a smaller game, but
continue. But yeah, it's just for someone who still is either using like the hybrids or the hard disk drives, that's they're mainly using like the SSDs for like their operating systems or like
right.
their programs and things. So for that to be that size, and we've seen it a couple times where these games coming out, the minimum requirements now are to be on a solid an SSD. So we're probably going to see a lot of sales on that moving forward, just because you won't be able to run the game as smoothly on those drives. They're just not fast enough anymore.
Yeah, it's true. We're already moving into better components, like you said, minimum requirements across the board. So
Mm-hmm.
once SSD becomes the standard, then the M2's next up on the roster. But that's probably going to be like another 10, 15 years before we move up to that. So
Yeah. Another kind of quick fire thing. So, Take Two CEO apparently he came out and said that he hasn't changed his opinion on game subscription. Like Game Pass or EA Play. During the financial update, um, he once again reiterated something that he said in September. I know we touched on it, that he's quote, highly skeptical that subscriptions will be the only way or primary way that interactive entertainment is distributed in the future. And that's because of the way people consume it, and the price point for owning a title, which is very reasonable and very low, is actually on a per hour basis. So I think it's unlikely that subscriptions supplant the frontline video game sales as the primary business model. So kind of interesting. We're talking about one of the top publishers out there, right? The 2K games. Was it Borderlands? Rockstar, pretty sure they own Rockstar as well. So we're talking like these top tier publisher here saying that subscription gaming is not the way. That he doesn't have, he's not fully invested in it, that it's going to be the way to move forward, which I would love to believe that, but I kind of disagree. I feel like that's just the new model forward.
yep, I agree
It's
with you.
unfortunate. I don't like it. I've mentioned this before, but I think it's just one of those realities that we have to just accept.
Yeah, I mean, we see it on with just television alone, right?
Right.
It's modular packaging everywhere you go. And I just saw the other day that on Hulu you can add things like Showmax, HBO, all that
Yep.
stuff that you just add it to your Hulu package, kind of how you did if you had cable. So these modular systems are all joining these subscription based systems, and gaming's going to be the same way. Eventually, we're going to get to a point where you can add, Ubisoft games, you can add Rockstar games to your subscription.
I mean, we're already seeing it at the end of the month, right onto Game Pass. We're already going to be able to add the EA Play to have those libraries. So I'm sure that's going to be a nice little sample for the for other companies or even like the same companies to really try to take advantage.
Yeah, it's the way that we're going. Like you said, I'm not a fan. I'd rather just buy the games that I want to buy. But at the same time, if they continue the way that they're going, where right now it's reasonable and you actually come out on top, payment wise, if you do take advantage of all these games like on Game Pass or that PlayStation version of this, if you play almost a new game a week, based on that alone, you're making way more than your money's worth on those subscriptions.
Mm-hmm. There is another one. I know we mentioned it a couple times. Speedrunning, right? So we have one of the charity events coming out in January. Awesome Games Done Quick 2021, and I guess one of the stars of the show is actually going to be Celeste. Have you ever seen that gameplay?
Negatron. Wow.
So it is. What's a good way to kind of come? Super Meat Boy. You remember that?
Yes.
It's like that. It's a difficult platformer with easy ways to die. So that you should definitely check it out. It is a very difficult game. It's an indie game. Has like that pixel art. It looks great. I'm pretty sure I played for like an hour before I rage quit.
Reminds me of the Impossible game.
That at least I could beat. Even Cuphead, I got to like World 3, and I just can't. So difficult games, I guess, are just not for me anymore. But the main feature about Celeste being in AGDQ 2021 is that they're going to do it on one of those Dance Dance Revolution pads.
Wow, come on.
Yeah, so I'm already raging, to be honest. That's
I saw I was so there's YouTube videos out there of people beating Dark Souls on the dance pad.
what was that game? I didn't some guy beat a game on like a banana or something.
What?
Yeah, I vaguely remember. I want to say it was Dark Souls, but I could be wrong. Maybe I could.
I know there was this guy who he's popular in the League community. His name is Box, and he played League of Legends on a PlayStation controller.
That's pretty insane. Yeah, so looks like it's the same guy, but his name is Super Lewis 64. He beat Sekiro, which is also a faster paced Souls game, with the Donkey Kong Bongos controller from the Wii U, I think it was. But apparently he beat the final boss of Dark Souls 3 using a bunch of bananas.
On the Congo thing?
No, literally the bananas were the controllers.
How?
He connected like wires to them to do it. You gotta look it up, bro. It's actually a little mind boggling.
It's insane. I kind of don't want to believe it at all.
Yeah, just a couple things. If you ever feel bad about being bad at games, well, now you have this to back it up. There was a little bit of news as well, more from Bethesda this time around. So Todd Howard actually came out and said that their IP, their new IP, Starfield, which is basically going to be like Elder Scrolls in space, from what it looks like, that the map will be their biggest map yet, and they are modifying their. Excuse me. So Starfield does look like it is going to be their largest map yet, and they are doing a lot of modifications to their creation engine. Nice little overhaul there because of how ambitious they're trying to be. And it's kind of crazy to see that they're still sticking with the same engine. And if I'm not mistaken, he did mention something that our players love it for like modding and things like that. So I think that's one of the main reasons that they don't update the actual engine.
So it's interesting you say that because obviously the same people are making Elder Scrolls 6. And I think 2 days ago, they put out an announcement saying that Elder Scrolls 6 will be using procedural generation. Basically,
Yeah, that's really
uh,
interesting.
yeah. So basically, what that means is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's just auto generating a certain part of the game. Obviously, not the full game, but just a certain part to kind of alleviate, some stress from like artists or developers and things like that. And it's just generic code that fills in the gaps in certain areas. And I looked into it and I was just curious how many other games have done this and to what. And a lot of names on here surprised me. Like Borderlands, all Borderlands game have done this for their weapons.
Okay, that
Um,
makes sense.
Yep, Left 4 Dead 2 uh, did it for like gameplay changes to the matches
Okay.
for like enemies, weather patterns, and enemy paths and things like that. Minecraft has done it, you know, which kind of makes sense for Minecraft. Minecraft Dungeon as well. No Man's Sky has done it. Um, Stardew Valley, which I'm not surprised by at all. And World of Warcraft Shadowlands has actually used it for Torghast, a dungeon within the
Huh.
Shadowlands that's coming out. So it's not an uncommon tool, and people are torn either way. Some people are like they're all for it, and some people are like we don't want to pay big money if you're going to just put generic content into it. But it's like it's just filling gaps. I don't know why people really feel so negative towards it, but
Well, I'm pretty sure one of the most popular indie games uses it. Crypto the Necrodancer
yep.
and what was that other one? Not Undertale. Binding of Isaac. I think that's the one. So yeah, I don't know why people are like so surprised about that.
Not so much surprises. I guess they just didn't want it for such a next gen game. This will probably be labeled quadruple A, I'm sure, to be using such an old technique. I guess is what the issue is.
Yeah, but I mean, it benefits us. I mean, if you think about it, it's less impactful to like your system, your rig entirely.
Yeah.
So I don't
Not
know.
just that, it also gives them more time to work on other stuff and not have to focus on filling in shades on the side of a mountain
Right.
and crap like that. So yes, it's important in the long run, like, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like cut them a break, let them focus on harder, more difficult issues at hand.
Hmm. That's interesting. I did want to touch on one quick thing. The Marvel's Avengers game. Have you do you read anything on that recently?
It came up on my research, but it's not a game that I'm particularly following because I
Me
don't have a
neither.
PlayStation.
Well, it's not only on PlayStation.
It was, so now I don't care.
Okay. So they're in a little bit of trouble. Apparently, the game itself has only sold about 3 million copies, and the company has lost about, I want to say it was like 63 million, is what I read. And that's just from launch to now. They've already lost that. They have already permanently reduced the price of, I guess, like in-game stuff, like takedowns and emotes, which I don't know why that was a thing, but I'm pretty sure that's why I avoided this game like the plague. Like, it looked fun, but it's definitely not something that I would have paid for, because again, these live service games, they are a very finicky thing. If you don't grasp those people early on, you're gonna end up losing. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And this was a good one. They could have really kept this one. Um, but I think they had their downfall when Sony did not release Spider-Man on the other platforms. I think that
Good. I'm glad people are fighting back.
I'm pretty sure that had a big thing to do with it. But that's just me. I don't have anything concrete. But it did have its like bugs or whatever. And again, once you beat the game, and then it just becomes a grind of getting the stuff without having that additional content to keep going back. like we talk about it with like World of Warcraft, like they have the dungeons, the different tiered dungeons, to kind of back that up, professions, the role play. But they, this is what is World of Warcraft now? Did we talk about it? 25 years? 20 years?
No, 2004.
Okay. So I'm way, way off. So like 16 years, right? And that, but think about everything that they've done within that time. Granted, they make bank on the monthly subscription or however you purchase it. But it's the same thing that happened with Destiny 1. It's the same thing that happened with Anthem. They think that they got it, and when it comes to that end game content, they just aren't able to deliver.
So here's the thing with what you said. The thing is that they do have it, right? So many people jump on the train for these games, but they just don't keep them.
Right.
They don't come back. They beat what they're gonna beat, and then that's it. That's the end of it. That's what happened with the Division for me. I was all for it. I was all the rage, and with everyone that went on there, and I went into the dark zone like 3 times, and that was it. Like, it was not worth all of that hype at the end of the day.
It was not, man. Let me tell you, if they would have turned the Division to just a straight up something like Ghost Recon or like Splinter Cell, if it would have just been like a campaign, none of this bullet sponges, garbage. I would have been all for it. You had your crew, you had some tech. Even if you did add like some like protection, right? Where maybe, they had some decently advanced tech in there, that could have been some sort of like crazy bodysuit that you had to like break down, but not 6 hours of shooting at something,
Yeah.
Like I don't know, but I like is it me? Like, am I just being like a Debbie Downer here? Because I don't mind difficult games. Like, I literally just beat Final Fantasy 15 again. Um, I don't mind bosses having a lot of like HP if it fits the setting. I guess that's what was most disruptive for me. I guess it's easier for me to understand it from a fantasy standpoint than from something like more realistic like that. Maybe it's just
That's
me.
fair. Yeah, that's fair. And not to mention, it was a game designed in your backyard. So it's like it brought in that extra level of realism for you.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they did Manhattan a very good fan service. But in the end, I never even made it to like one of the raids. I was like, no, like I'm tired of this live service crap. And
Yeah.
uh, Destiny had a big part to do that for me. I want to say they came out the same year, maybe the year after. Oh, that's wrong. I think I was already tired of Destiny by that point because of the same thing. Yeah, because it was the same thing, man. 3 characters, 3 raids, 3 special dungeons. Their nightfalls. I didn't have it in me anymore, and
That's fair.
I was a lot less responsibilities then as well. It's just so many factors. Like even Anthem, I've installed and reinstalled that game like 5 times. Like, I'll do a couple stories. I love the game. Like, the game is really good as a standalone, little shooter or whatever. The suits are good. The flying is great. Like, it's all there. But that money grab from EA at the end, they just didn't have enough loot to kind of back their live service. I mean, they are working on that revamp. We did get some teasers from the new javelins, but ultimately, it's still in the air. I don't know if they can recover, to be honest.
They'll probably have to hit him with an Anthem too to kind of start fresh.
But we'll see, man. I mean, Destiny was able to do it. I don't know how, but they did it.
Destiny 2? Ugh.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about Destiny. I broke away from it as fast as I could, to be honest.
and that's sad because when you really think about it, like the games are fun, the mechanics, the abilities, the lore is a little but like other than that, it's like what else do you have?
Flashy. It's flashy.
It's very flashy. I think that's what helps Devil May Cry and Bayonetta so much.
No, those games are actually good.
Well, I mean, Platinum Games did Bayonetta. I don't think they've ever failed, to my knowledge. Um,
So interestingly enough, Vampire the Masquerade. We talked about the game that's coming out, Vampire the
mhm.
Masquerade 2, that we're actually excited for. They have announced that they're going to release a battle royale type
Yeah,
game separate from part two,
interesting.
and yeah, and the community was not thrilled.
Yikes.
Um,
Well, this is like an RPG game. I don't know how they would do it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So there, it's just gonna be, well, a battle royale, right? You're a vampire, and you go do vampire things, and there's just these mechanics you have to deal with. But what the people that play Vampire the Masquerade were getting at, I have never played, so forgive my backseat opinion. But apparently, it's the fact that in Vampire the Masquerade, there's a mechanic of if you kill another vampire, you risk going mad. So to make a battle royale kind of like you have this other um, universe rule that killing another vampire as a vampire makes you go crazy. So it's like people were just not excited to be able to do that in the game.
Well, it's gonna. I mean, I think that has enough challenges in and of itself. Taking into account how are they going to do like the characters? Like, are they going to have classes? Are they going to have like those abilities? Are they going to bring abilities in game? Are you going to be able to import your character? That one is probably not likely at all. But they have a lot of work to do, especially coming from a developer who, to my knowledge, this is really their only big, I guess, catalog. I don't know what else they've made, but a multiplayer game is an entirely different beast. Even with Cyberpunk 2077, I just had to throw it in there, right? That they're working on their own like multiplayer game. I don't know how they're going to work on that as well. Like, is it going to be your same character? Everyone's own version of V is going to be, this character. Are you going to have like different classes? Now, granted, this is not something that's even going to be considered for like another 2 years, but still, it's just, these questions when these games are so focused on a single player campaign to branch out like that, it is very difficult. Epic was fortunate enough to have that success because they had the knowledge of multiplayer games within Gears of War, so they were able to make that transition, from a single player game to the battle royale with Fortnite. But will these other developers have the same success without the same knowledge of balancing and just multiplayer creation?
I don't. I think battle royales needs to stop. The next big thing needs to come out because I'm tired of battle royales. It's the same exact crap every single time, and it's not fun. I don't understand how people are enjoying it. I don't know what I am missing internally to enjoy a battle royale. They're not fun.
So you know what it is, bro? I think it's a generational thing. Personally, I mean, I could be completely off my rocker here, but take into account what made you play Gear so much? What made you play Halo so much? It was that competitive in the multiplayer right genre. Like, I get it. I'm right there with you. And Battle Royale does that, nowadays, because it's not just the 5v5 or what have you. Depending on the type, it's you and like 100 other people to really come out on top. I think the skill range is a little different.
So let me hit you with a big on that statement because I can guarantee you any person that's played Battle Royale can find a story or 30 where the first place winner was somebody that just hid until they were like the last three players available. And then, they've collected enough crap along the way to just get the final win at the end of the day. And
Yeah,
second place had like 100 kills, and the first place got maybe two or three. So
yeah.
it's like, are you really challenging equal skills? I don't think so at all. It does not. I don't feel like that captures that in any single way.
But
The
but
only part of Battle Royale that's fun to me is the first 5 minutes. Back the chaos in the beginning. That's the only part that's fun.
When I played with Ruan Neon Cyber Samurai, we played a lot of Apex in season 2, like a lot, and it was very very fun to me. Definitely not anymore. But one of the things that we loved was just going to hotspots like right in the beginning.
Right, because that's honestly the best part of the game. That's actually challenging. That's actually fun. But camping, collecting crap, and then trying to just wait out and set things up, like tactically, that sounds like fun. But you're playing a fast paced game. I don't want tactics. I want that part out of the game. Keep the tactics for the games like Battlefield, where it's meant to be slower pace. That that's the balance that I'm looking for.
That
It,
took that
I
took me a
don't.
while to learn.
It's slowing down in Battlefield.
Yeah,
It makes Battlefield so fun when you realize that you actually have to work as a team with your cell, and it's just it's so good. But that's the pieces that breaks me from battle royales. You want to put tactics in a fast-paced game. It doesn't work well with a battle royale like that. Something like with Halo matchmaking where it's tactical and fast-paced, that works better. Call of Duty matchmaking, that works better. But battle royales, I'm gonna sit out. I've yet to find one, and I've played almost every single battle royale that's ever come out, and it's just not for me. I always give it a try, and every time's the same. I enjoy the first few minutes where you battle it out with 5, 10 different people around you, and then after that, everyone goes their merry way, and then you wait until you're the last man standing. It's I don't know. I don't find it enjoyable.
uh, I get it, man. I don't like them either. Like Apex was it for me. I think if I played 5 Fortnite matches, it was a lot. Never did PUBG. Um, the closest thing I did to my first battle royale will probably have to be the Halo 3, where they had that big sand map. It was like one of the first games that had like 64 players, right? 32, 32. You remember that? Am I just making
Yeah,
that up? Yeah,
there were objectives involved in that, if I remember right.
I think there were some. But yeah, that was that was one of the ones for me. I do want to backtrack a little bit because this is funny and not funny. So again, Cyberpunk 2077, gotta throw that in there. Has claimed another victim in far as game releases go. So we talked about how Path of Exile was moved because Cyberpunk moved the date. Uh, it was an update for Path of Exile, but in this case, it's actually a new game. So the Medium, that horror game that you were kind of interested in, has also been delayed to January.
Makes sense. That's definitely one that you need time to sit down and kind of set the mood and make sure your chair's comfy. Like you're gonna sit down for a long journey with the medium. So I understand. I can understand pushing it to the right. One that's interesting. Another game that's in December. They did not change their date. First off, I want to start off. Have you heard of the game called TemTem?
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm drawing a blank to be honest.
Drawing a blank. That's fair. I didn't know about it until last night. Um, so TemTem, the easiest way to put it for you or into perspective, it is a Pokemon ripoff. Give
I
me,
think
give me
I think
three,
that I think that's why it sounds familiar.
give me three
Um,
things you love about Pokemon,
um,
or just
the
three things that are iconic to Pokemon. Let's start. Let's do that.
the variety, the
Okay.
evolution, and the catching of different things.
So I don't know about the evolution. I've yet to find any evolution, but they have the catching, they have the variety, they have like a version of the Pokédex. They have a professor that introduces you to three starters in the beginning of the game. So
Oh,
this
you know what?
game,
I do remember that. I apologize. I do remember this because actually Jake Baldino over at Game Ranks, I think, brought this up. Because I think it was like in a early access for a while. Yep, I
it
remember
still
this
is.
game.
It's still in early access. And what's interesting, they've announced that on December 8th, Temtem the game will be coming to PlayStation.
Huh.
So it's currently on Steam at the moment, and it's 35, I believe, for the early access. And it's a beautiful, beautiful game. And what I found interesting are like they changed the mechanics up. And I did even further research that Nintendo currently has no grounds to like sue them, even though it's literally the exact same game. But since they didn't use any IP, like the city
Right.
names, any images, any Pokemon names, any Pokemon images. Like it's all designed within Temtem. But instead of being a Pokemon trainer, you're called a Temtem trader, I believe.
Wow.
Instead of a Pokeball, it is a Temtem card where you catch the Pokemon in like a digital credit card looking thing.
Yeah.
It's basically like Digimon. or Yu-Gi-Oh with the dual decks. But the combat system is different. Instead of 1-on-1, it's always 2-on-2 or
Mm-hmm.
2-on-1.
I vaguely
Um,
remember all of this.
and what I found the most interesting about it was the in Pokemon, when you use your moves, you only have 4 moves, and you have a PP counter per move 5, 10,
Right.
and
Yep.
15, 20, 30, what have you. In TemTem, you have a mana system where each you have a mana pool, and then each move is worth so much mana. And then at the start of your next turn, you regain so much mana. So you can't just spam your strongest abilities. You kind of have to tactically plan out what you're going to do.
Well, that's
So
good.
that's super.
Add some challenge to it.
Yeah, and apparently, your moves kind of could mix well with certain items and certain matchups and what have you. So that's an interesting mechanic. And like I said, the game was beautiful. The artwork that I saw so far, beautiful. And just like Pokemon, the names of these creatures are off the charts and weird. But that style of game, like I think they captured a lot of the best elements of Pokemon and kind of added to their own little bits of flavor. So
It is definitely a beautiful game. Wow. I was just checking the trailer here on Steam.
no, it's really good. So I'm definitely gonna keep my eye out to see what's more to come because it's still in early access. I'm curious to see if they're just gonna port over to PlayStation what they have for early access. They're still releasing things slowly into the game, so it's not full access. So I'm not sure what the bridge is going to be, if they're going to give more to PlayStation, which I would find super strange, or if PlayStation would also be early access. And then once the game is fully completed, PlayStation will automatically get that. Like, I don't know what the relationship is going to be between that. It's a little weird that they're moving on to console without the game being completed or announced to be completed on PC, where it's been there for quite some time already.
That's definitely interesting. I'll be curious to see more about it. Personally, I don't think I would. I think Pokemon's my limit as far as these things, these kind of games. Personally, I don't think I would, just because I think Pokemon's going to be it for me. I'm still trying to get through that. I got to do that expansion, but you guys should definitely check this game out. It really does look good, especially if you like that kind of, just catching things, and that battle, because it looks like it's going to be more of an MMO kind of thing, right?
Yeah, so there is some MMO aspects to it where you can see other players running around and they're interacting with NPCs and such like that. But I don't think it's fully on MMO like you would with World of Warcraft
Right.
or Final Final Fantasy. But it is technically an MMO because there are multiple players online at the same time as you are, but it's not as MMO-y as I would like it. And the thing that has me more excited for TemTem than anything else is I kind of hope that with it coming to PlayStation, that it kind of kicks up the excitement for the game and kind of makes it more popular and challenges Nintendo as a whole to put out a better Pokemon game or kind of revamp their system or to do something out of the norm.
It's funny you mentioned that. I remember, with the recent release of I can't remember this. Genshin Impact, that MMO game.
Right.
Someone basically took a picture of like Pokemon looking out to the water and like a player character in Genshin looking out to the water, and they were like, identify which one is the $1 billion franchise. And the Pokemon one did look like really plain, and I like it never occurred to me because I just run around, catch the Pokemon, enjoy the story. Like I was never one to like breed to get like the best stats or like trade hardcore like that. Like some people are like really take Pokemon's heart. So like with each release, while I'm definitely a casual Pokemon player, ever since probably like Ruby, so I was really only invested for like 2 generations or so, like the first 2, and then from there it was just like whatever. But like I don't do that anymore. But like people really like calculate like the math. They look up. You remember when when someone found like the formula on how to basically how many times the Pokeball shakes, like in the first Pokemon. It looked like it was a formula like for time travel of how complicated it looked. It was insane, like the math that they put in this. But people do, they breed, looking for the shiny, looking to get the best stats possible as like a baby to like really compete with like the link cables back in the day. Remember those? Oh, we are old, bro.
You're
Um,
old.
you're old. But yeah, just little things like that. But again, TemTem does look great. So, like I said, definitely something you guys should check out.
I agree. Um, God, just you mentioning all those Pokemon terms. I was one of those people that not so much of getting like the best stats per se, but there were some Pokemon that benefited from certain, I forget what they're called, like moods. I think they were
Ugh.
kind of like personalities or moods. I don't know what the
I kind of
official
remember. I kind
Pokemon.
of remember personalities vaguely. Like I said,
Yeah.
Silver is probably the last one I was hardcore with.
No, this happened way after that. I think around, was it Black and White where they introduced? I don't know. It's been so long, but yeah, there was a certain system like what was it? Only the female Pokemon character can pass on the mood or whatever that she had. So if she was timid, she would pass on timid to the
Okay.
offspring, and there was stuff like that and certain combinations to get because certain Pokemon, even though they weren't the same. So if you had a Pikachu and a Pikachu, you could do like Pikachu and something else that would still maybe give you a Pichu or something
Mm-hmm.
else. And there was like there was just so because there were A groups and so much stuff. Oh my god, it get insane. And I was one of those people that that I combined what I had to combine to get the products that I wanted, and the rest of them went into the box. All my failed projects.
Bro, my breeding knowledge came from when they give you the lucky egg in silver and it turned out to be Togepi. Like that was it for me. I've left
uh,
Pokemon in there like from when I got it. Okay, we'll get this and we'll get this. And I forget about them till I've beaten Pokemon Trainer Red like 50 times. Like, oh, the nursery.
Bro, remember Red Gyarados?
Yep, the shiny Gyarados. That shiny red one. Yep.
Good times. And that
Good
was
time.
just randomly there. Just by the way, you can just catch this. So I laughed all the way to the bank with this one. Best Buy, or I guess an employee of Best Buy, reported that the PlayStation 5 has been overheating in the kiosk they that have in place, ready for the release.
Bro.
I I called it day one. All these people, it doesn't matter that the hardware inside of it is worse than what Microsoft chose for their product, yada, yada, yada. It's still going to this, it's still going to that. Well, there you go. It's still going to overheat. And I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but no one should buy this. Same thing with the Microsoft, the Xbox Series X.
Yep.
No one should buy this at launch. Especially not a next generation console making a jump.
Next generation anything. I mean, even all these people jumping to, Apple just had a new phone. Though there's always something. There's always something.
Yeah, it's always the case. And with PlayStation not holding its own already, and that's supposed to be in a kiosk where you would go test the equipment and it's overheating. And I've seen pictures from people that got the PlayStation early from shipment errors because it happens all the time, and their PlayStations are overheating at home. It's happening already.
Wow.
The nightmare has started, and it's gonna be. I haven't seen anything on the Xbox side, but I know it's coming. It always happens. It's gonna happen.
So most of the testing that I've seen have gotten some heat. They've had one of those what is it? The no touch thermometers or whatever, pointing in that direction. And they're getting some, but nothing to like the point of that. It's a little chunker though.
There's gonna be heat. You're trying to process
A lot.
4K graphics.
Right. Well, at the moment, it's all like the backwards compatibility stuff. So I really want to see when the next gen games really get there.
It's gonna be worse.
Mm-hmm.
So just something to keep in mind if you've been kind of holding off to see what's gonna happen. Well, it's already happening.
Seriously.
It's not the best I told you so, but at the same time, you had to have known it was coming, especially if you're listening to us, because you just don't buy something that big in technology. That's such a big jump. You just don't do it. Same thing when Tesla cars came out. That technology was too new to just jump on and do it right away. And how many issues have there been for the first generation of Teslas? Countless. It's still going on. It's the innovation. I love it. Keep advancing technology. I will always advocate for that, but I will never be a person to purchase those advancements. I'll try it out for free if anybody wants to send it my way to test it, but I'm not gonna spend my hard earned cash onto something that may or may not work. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do that. Speaking more on the PlayStation, so apparently the total storage that you're going to get on the PlayStation 5 is actually 667.2 gigabytes, not the 800 and something that was.
That's crazy. A
Yeah.
third gone at launch.
Yep. So another thing to keep in mind, but PlayStation's the best. We can only play Final Fantasy here.
You can't though. Spider-Man. Go
I
with Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Subway
Yeah.
card. Speaking of Spider-Man, the videos that's come out for that game on the PlayStation 4 alone have been breathtaking. Same thing that happened with Spider-Man 3 when that came out.
Just Spider-Man 2018, 2017, 2018.
Whatever
Yeah.
the one before this one was,
Yeah.
where you can take pictures that seem more realistic. Like it had better graphics than what I see with my actual eyes. So
I went outside once. The graphics were great, but the gameplay was terrible.
agreed. The pay to win is just unfair. But the Spider-Man game does look really, really, really good. It looks so fluid, just swinging between buildings and whatnot. They did a really good job with that.
Now, can you think back, because you played a lot of Spider-Man 2, like the difference from those years on what we're able to do now?
Yeah, I still remember those taxis that they had in the game. There were just Lego blocks. Yeah, I remember that.
I just have two minor things here. World of Warcraft. Apparently, there was a speedrunner who hit max level in 3 hours and 33 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he took an Alliance Death Knight from level 10 to level 50. I thought it was 60. Oh, no, it's not out yet, right?
When the game comes out, yeah.
Got it. Yep, level 10, level 50 in 3 hours and 33 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's really cool. I want to see him do it from level 1.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And one last thing, both of these kind of tailored for you. Now, I'm not familiar with these people. KDA, they're start like a band from League of Legends.
For League? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Wait, no, hold up. I think it might be interesting. So it looks like they're mainly known like for K-pop, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But apparently their new album, their new EP, like is really, really good because they modified it a bit. So like they're doing like some drum and bass, like that K-pop thing doesn't seem to be like the core thing here.
Sure.
I'm just going by what I saw. I have to listen to it. I mean, League has good music and looks like one of the main composers like really work with them here. So I don't know. It's 5 songs. We'll see what's up.
I might check it out just to see if they're worth it, but
Yeah,
I've never been a fan of the KDA thing. Pentakill, I was more for that than anything else.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, it does still have that pop thing, just not strictly K-pop. They said they're going for a more global pop sound here.
Yeah, I guess like what you said earlier, it's a generational thing. Is it me who's wrong?
No, it's the children who are wrong.
Am I in the wrong? Oh man, I don't remember what Professor Skimmer.
No, it's a principal.
That's what I said.
Is
it still Skimmer though?
Yeah.
Wow, it's been so long. So I have two things also. So a Twitch streamer was recently banned after 8 years of streaming by Twitch because of what they deemed an unprofessional stream name, his account name. His account name was Piece of Sheet.
So it took him 8 years to bring that ban, like Dr. Disrespect ban, or like what's going on here?
No, because at least they told him why.
Right, but is it like a perma ban?
Probably not. I mean, you have the ability to change your account name, but I just find it strange that one, This guy's been streaming for 8 years, and he wasn't like a bottom barrel streamer. He might have not hold 40K viewers, but he still had a significant following, and he racked them up over 8 years, right? So this was his form of living, and it wasn't new whatsoever. But fine, Twitch, probably someone had a moderator had a bad day that morning and decided to ban him. But why ban him and not just email him saying, "Hey, we realize that your name doesn't fall under the the language filter or whatever, the image that we're trying to uphold. We want you to
Right.
change it, or then if you don't change it within 24 hours, we'll ban you." Like, why not do it that? Why go straight for the ban? It's just, I don't know. It just seems too too power heavy for me.
Yeah, but that is very, very suspicious because, like I said, there are a million different ways that they can handle that. And I don't know if Twitch could really go with that publicity right now. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, Twitch. I don't know. Twitch is on some other.
There's got to be something. Investors, or they're trying to like really, really like go a different way with what they're the direction that they're trying to take streaming to.
I don't know, man. I've been trying to get more used to YouTube gaming. I don't. Some of you may have seen. I'm trying to start utilizing our YouTube channel a little bit more for Two Guys One Level. I'm trying to upload all our videos on there. Surprisingly, that's actually very difficult and challenging.
Well,
Yeah. And as well as trying to stream games and, kind of connect with the community on that platform as well. So I'm trying to incorporate more YouTube things, and maybe some other things. And then we have our Patreon that I'm trying to update and set things up for. So I'm trying to, have everything we possibly can out there: Twitter, Patreon, YouTube, Anchor, what have you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna change the name to One Guy One Level pretty soon.
Wow.
He does so much. He does so much.
All I do is the technical stuff. I let Steven do the actual work.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the first time you said my name on stream, on podcast.
Oh, it's not. Definitely not. Definitely done it when David was here.
Oh. Exposed.
And the last thing I have, not actual news, kind of the final fluff piece. Someone created a mod for the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate game, where they replaced Pac-Man with the Among Us characters.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, nothing else really changed. Like, the moves are Pac-Man's moves. It's just the skin is Among Us. But I just thought that was comical. So there's already YouTube footage out there of watching Among Us characters knocking people around. So
that's hilarious.
If that's something that tickles your pickle, go check it out.
I'm pretty sure Among Us recently someone just came out with like a fan film about it. That we got to check it out.
Someone did a whole like JoJo's like anime fight scene script.
Wow.
With Among Us. It's so good. It's actually really good. How did you know it was me?
I think the funniest thing I saw was they had a whole bunch of colors lined up, and each of them had their name just as one letter, and spelling Pixar, and then and then White popped out of a vent, like walked over slowly, like it was jumping, and then ate the eye, and then just stood there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really funny.
I saw one where they did the lyrics to the intro song for Lion King. I don't know what it's actually called. Not Circle of Life. The Swahili one. I'm not gonna sing it over podcast.
Nah, come on, bro.
Nope.
Yeah,
that starts with Pennsylvania.
This Circle of Life, bro. You start the Swahili, and then Elton John comes in.
Is it?
Yeah.
There you go. So, no, I'm pretty sure that's incorrect.
Bro, I don't like being wrong. So, yeah, bro. When the sun comes up, the Swahili's going on, and then, I'm going by the animated one.
No, yep, you're right. All right, cool. So yeah, so the intro bit for that, they
hold up. You're not gonna skip over it that fast. What was that? I was what?
And that's the end of the episode. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us.
Welp.
If you're gonna catch it, you have to listen to the episode over and over.
I will. It's recorded and edit it out. Yeah, bro. It's the one with the and thanks so much for everyone coming tonight.
Oh man, I don't know why I thought it was two different songs. I'm definitely thinking of another song that's not this one.
Maybe. I mean, I think they went more of the Swahili for that remake or whatever. You know, that was like a whole different one. But I don't know.
What's the one that's a Woomba way? This goes a Woomba way, a Woomba way.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
It's that's what they did. I was wrong from the get go, bro. That's what they did in the jungle. Nothing to do with liking. Holy wow! Thank you all for joining us another week.
No. So hold up. Not entirely. There's a very short skit where Timon and Pumbaa do sing that. So maybe that's why you got your wires crossed.
Sure, let's go with that. Nice save, bro.
Why you this?
But it was definitely in the jungle. I'm remembering the video now.
Okay.
But I have nothing else on my news list.
I don't think I have anything either. Well, yeah, that's gonna be it for me, bro. Oh, a Godfall, and we're gonna have to come back to this. I'm gonna have to repeat this. What the hell's coming out? There are two games came out with their specs, and I don't remember now. God dang it! Maybe it was Call of Duty. I'm good at this, I swear. Or was it Valhalla? Maybe it was Valhalla. Oh nope. Okay. 3. Oh, actually, real quick. Immortals, Phoenix Rising. They came out with their system requirements, and they did a really weird yet fantastic formatting of it. They put out numbers from 720 30 frames all the way up to 4K 30. Like they put that. I think that's fantastic. Where Cyberpunk said they're going to do the same thing for like the higher end as well. But that's out there, and Godfall did theirs. They went with their minimum and recommended. But those are out there. If you are looking to get these games on PC, you guys can go check them out.
Sweet, thank you for that. That's really cool. That's definitely a game that I have on my radar. It looks really good.
I agree. Zelda 2.0.
Hey, it might be better than Zelda Breath of the Wild. You don't know.
All right. Thanks everyone for coming. I can't take that from the guy who didn't put on the proper uniforms to climb, or heat, or cold.
You shouldn't need any of that. This is not Ocarina of Time where you need the water. Was it
the tunic
or the fire tunic to handle whatever you had to handle? I don't let fashion, take that life. I'm gonna bring that into a game.
I'm gonna make sure I stream Mass Effect so you can see me do everything wrong.
There's no way to play it wrong. It's a straight line story. It just takes so long to get through it.
No, I mean the combat. I'm gonna use the grenades wrong. I'm gonna do everything wrong just for you.
Oh man, the telekinetic ability was the best thing they've ever done. Oh, you want to take cover? Nope, not anymore.
I actually had a lot of fun with the Andromeda combat. That was very, very fluid. If you ever open it sometime this decade, but there, I remember I was struggling with this one part, and I was game sharing with my cousin AJ, and he was like, "Bro, just do this." Apparently, like you could mix like this one, like a mod with this automatic shotgun. So basically, what the hell was it? I think you teleport to them, right? The psionic one, the purple one, whatever. You dash to them. I think you need the invisible one, and then you just hit them with this shotgun. It's like an automatic shotgun. All the blast, but the mod was like a lifesteal thing. So you were like invincible, basically.
You just kept healing by hitting them with the shotgun.
Yeah, that was awesome. Broken.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
That's it for me, bro. I got nothing.
Same, broski. All right. Well, thank you everyone here so much for hanging out with us yet another week. Definitely check out our description below so you can find additional content and ways to support us. Definitely appreciate it. If you like what you hear, please give us a follow. Also, give us a share with someone in the gaming community that you think will enjoy this podcast. We would definitely appreciate that as well. And remember, always, gamers lead the way.